welcome back to the Vegan Runner. Today you're joining me on my final long run before the big day in exactly a week's time. And today I'm going to be sharing top 5 things I've learnt on this marathon training journey. So number 1, you are capable of more than you think. A good few years ago when we started Park Run, 2017, 5 kilometres seemed like a really big distance. It was a big deal every Saturday to run that distance, half an hour every Saturday morning. And then decided to do a bit further, 10 kilometres, and that felt like a really big challenge. I've come back feeling absolutely shattered, probably pushed myself too far. Fast forward a few years, London landmarks, that's where my 80-20 training really started, and half marathon for quite a long time, even up until about 6 months ago, sounded like a really long way, felt very daunting. So even last year when I did my PB attempt, my half marathon, the prospect of doing that again under 4 hours or roughly seemed impossible. Never thought my legs would be able to carry me that distance. Struggling to walk after a half marathon, really stiff. After landmarks, could barely use the stairs. Yet now I'm going 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31 kilometres. I'm feeling great all the way through and afterwards. So really impressed with how my body's adapted. I'm really pleased with myself. So now on this training plan, 10 kilometres, which used to feel like a really long way for me. Now I think, oh, I've got 10 kilometres left, easy. Or a half marathon, easy. 2 10-kilometre runs. So I grew up with asthma as a child, and I never allowed myself to really push myself aerobically, apart from swimming. I'd never run. I might sprint, and that's about it. Nothing long distance. So never thought I was capable of that. But really, progression over the years of training, persistence, it's incredible what your body can do. Number 2, trust the progression of the training plan. Don't look at the last run, the longest run on the training plan, and freak out. Trust that your body's going to adapt and you're going to move there gradually over time. When I was casually browsing the Training Peaks calendar at the start in January, and I saw that I was going to run 31 kilometres, didn't think that was possible at all. With this plan, every single long run goes up in a 2-kilometre increment every week. So it kind of applies to the long runs as well in general, just at the start. And trusting that previous week I was able to run almost this distance. It's only another kilometre further out, that's fine. The work's been done, feeling good. I've really enjoyed going just that little bit further every single week on the Tarka Trail, just see where I'll get to in the following week. Number 3, allow flexibility in your plan. You're not always going to feel the same every single day. The weather is not going to be the same every single day. Where you run is not always going to have the same elevation. So today I know and I accept that I'm not going to go as fast as my previous run. It's got quite a bit of a hill, and a pretty big chunk of a hill on the way home. So today it's just about getting the miles under my feet and the time on my feet. It's really about listening to your body, in terms of effort level. So the 8 to 20 training, zone 2. Zone 2 on a good day will be very different to zone 2 on a bad day when it's blowing hooly, snowing, you might not be feeling very well, you might be quite tired, busy week at work. The effort level's the same, pace might be different, but just getting out there and doing it is really what it's all about. So with a lot of the fartlek, a lot of the speed sessions, fartleks, critical velocities, my all-out pace one week I'll feel really strong, then another week I'll feel like I'm running through treacle. I found it really important to listen to my body. So it's all really about perceived effort. When I was reaching the half marathon distance in my long runs, I was getting really excited, getting to 19 kilometres, 21 kilometres, and I was probably pushing it just a little bit too much, pace wise, and I started getting quite a few niggles in my psoas, hips, my feet. So I decided to just hold back a little bit pace wise. It was still quite an okay pace, 10-minute mile, but I realised at that point that it's more important to run that distance in whatever time it takes comfortably, rather than going at a pace that I expect to go, injuring myself and not reaching my goal long term. Some of those days, so last Saturday, last weekend, I had to swap my long run from Sunday to Friday. So that was a really long run, longest of the plan. And usually I'll have a rest day after that, but instead I had to do a foundation run the following morning, which was only about 16 hours after I finished the previous run, so not much time to recover, and then a speed session on Sunday, and they were really tough. I was going so slowly, but I was getting those miles under my feet, and we all get ill from time to time, we get colds. Again, listening to your body, if you do need a day off, take one, recover, come back stronger. I've been quite lucky this winter. I've managed to stick quite rigidly to the plan. Did have to miss a couple of days at the start. I had a bit of a nasty cold. It was better to rest rather than carry on and let the cold linger. I'm really glad we did that. Did move a long run to a day where I wasn't feeling so ill, so I didn't get a rest day. I did 7 days straight running, so that was quite a challenging week. Yeah, some days when you're feeling a bit too sore legs, I found it does help moving those Tuesday or Friday sessions, swapping those with one of the foundation runs. Number 4, consistency. So getting out there, showing up, getting those miles under your feet, no matter the weather, no matter your mindset. Winter training has been a brilliant mental challenge, and getting that resilience up around the snow, a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and some days it's been really tough to get out there, out the door. But on those runs where I found it really hard to get out the door, I've just reminded myself that if I can do this in this weather, feeling like the way I am on whatever day, for whatever reason, I can do this and smash that marathon. Number 5, your goal can shift. So at the start of this training plan, well, before the start of this training plan, when we signed up to London, I roughly estimated maybe 4:20 for my marathon, based on my half marathon effort of 2 hours. Add about 20 minutes on to double that. As my training progressed, I was just working out at the pace, foundation stage pace I was doing at the time, about 10:02. That crept up to maybe 4:23. And really my goal at that point, because I was quite sore, wasn't sure that my body would cope with that distance. My legs were quite sore, my feet were always sore. Didn't really know how my body's going to react to that distance at that point. So I set myself an easier target of 4.5 hours. If I can get under 4.5 hours, I'm happy. I'm happy just finishing it, to be honest, still. But sort of set myself a non-scary goal that's realistic, definitely under 4.5. Until last Friday. Got a new watch recently, and it's still showing my pace of at minute kilometers rather than miles. So at the time, the present moment of running, I wasn't really thinking, I couldn't really think about how that translated to my usual pace. So I thought, oh, I'll just go at a pace that's comfortable to me today. I didn't feel like I was going that fast, so I kind of estimated maybe I was still going 10.5 minute mile. When in fact, I was doing about 5.5, 5:45 minute kilometre. When I stopped my watch at the end, I was very surprised to find that not only did I do it quicker in less time than my shorter run the previous week, I did it in under 3 hours, which was 45 minutes quicker than Training Peaks 8 to 20 training predicted. Not only did I do that, but I actually beat my second best half marathon speed. So, which was 1 hour 58, 1 hour 59. I managed to do sub 2 half marathon, and then another 10 kilometers on top of that. 11 kilometers, no 10. And still feel great. Didn't feel like I was puffing in gut. Felt like I could probably go a bit further if I needed to. So I might be able to get under 4 hours. So that's my goal, to get under 4 hours, or as close to 4 hours as I can. It's quite daunting thinking about that. This was a training plan. This was a training run. I was holding it back a little bit. Didn't have the crowds, didn't have the atmosphere. I had my pack on, all sorts of things, and I managed to do it. So I'm fairly confident. I feel like I should at least try to do that. But that goal could have easily gone the other way. I I added on a little bit to my goal time a few weeks prior because I wasn't feeling great in my legs. Wasn't sure. I think I was just at that point thinking I just want to complete it. So, if I get under 4.5, I'm still happy. It means that my next PB will be easier. But it really depends on the conditions. I felt quite good on Friday. I'd swapped it so I'd not done a speed session 2 days prior, like I normally would have done. The weather was nice, it wasn't windy, I slept well. So you just don't know, and I feel mentally prepared for either of those situations really. I'm going to be the best me on the day of the marathon. If that means that I can smash a sub-4 marathon, fantastic. If that means that somewhere along the line something happens or not feeling 100% on the day, then I'll accept just finishing. I think running has really taught me that. Not beating yourself up, not putting so much pressure on yourself, and just getting out there and doing it is an achievement in itself, especially on those bad days when it's pouring down with rain, or you just don't feel like it. The feeling you get after coming back in, oh, I've done it, I did it, I hated it, but I did it. It just feels fantastic. It's really fun every time I come out on the Tarka Trail and have my long run, especially the shorter ones. I'm thinking, this used to feel ages away from my house. I've been bumbling away for almost halfway now, and it doesn't feel like anything at all. So with just 1 week to go to London, I'm feeling really, really nervous. I think because I know that I can probably go under 4 hours, that has made me feel more nervous. Mainly because I want to do myself justice. But yeah, incredibly nervous, excited, not dreading it. No, I'm not dreading it anymore, which is good. I know I can do it. Really looking forward to that atmosphere, that sense of achievement, crossing the line at the end. So nearly at the end of my final long run now. So all of you out there who are doing London Marathon next week or training, well done, big pat on the back for getting this far in your training, and best of luck for next week. I hope to see you there. Until the next one, be the best you. In terms of the, how do you do this, Lee?